Hello friend, so glad you're here tonight. Get comfortable, pull the covers up and let the day loosen its grip. There's nowhere else you need to be. Before we begin, a small request. Most of the people listening tonight aren't subscribed. If this channel has ever helped you drift off, take a moment to subscribe and tap the like button on tonight's video. Both are free, they take 2 seconds and they help this channel more than you think. And you can always change your mind later. And if you feel like it, leave a comment telling me where in the world you're listening from and what time it is where you are. I love reading them. In the heart of the Mediterranean, where the sun is relentless and time seems to have stood still for centuries, there exists a place known as Citium. This small town, tucked away on the island of Cyprus, is not just any insignificant settlement. It is the birthplace of one of the most influential philosophers in Western history. Zeno of Citium was born here around 3034 BCE, and his journey would shape the course of human thought for millennia to come. What secrets did this obscure town hold that could nurture such a profound mind? Tonight, we embark on an exploration of Zeno's life and how his ideas came to define the essence of Stoicism. Zeno's early years were likely filled with the simple rhythms of rural life, the warmth of family, and perhaps evenings spent gazing at the constellations that would one day become symbolic of his philosophy. Yet, this humble beginning was merely a prelude to a journey that would take him far beyond the shores of Cyprus and into the intellectual heart of the ancient world, Athens. The path from Citium to Athens was not merely geographical, it also represented a transition from the quietude of provincial life to the bustling arena of philosophical debate and innovation. In this city, Zeno would encounter ideas that were as vast and complex as the night sky he had once contemplated under Cyprus's clear nights. Among these ideas was one that would captivate him, a philosophy centered on living according to virtue. Under the painted porch known as Stoa Poikile, Zeno found his philosophical home and began to develop his own unique take on this philosophy of virtue. The Stoa Poikile was not just a physical structure, it was a symbolic center where history's great battles were depicted in vivid colors. It must have seemed fitting that such a place should become the birthplace of another kind of struggle, an intellectual battle to define what it means to live a virtuous life. Zeno's school focused on living in accordance with nature, cultivating inner peace, and accepting one's fate. These ideas would eventually come to be known as Stoicism, a philosophy that would echo through the centuries, shaping the minds of emperors, warriors, and ordinary people alike. Yet, at its inception, it was simply a small gathering of like-minded individuals under the painted porch in Athens. As Zeno's ideas took root and spread, they would eventually challenge and reshape the very fabric of society. But at the beginning, it was just a man from a small town on an island, pondering questions that would one day change the world. Tonight, we will follow this journey from its quiet beginnings to its monumental impact on Western thought. Before we delve deeper into the philosophy itself, let's pause for a moment and imagine Zeno not as the great philosopher he would become, but simply as a young man looking up at the stars from his hometown of Citium. In these moments of quiet reflection, perhaps the seeds of his philosophy were first planted. As the night deepened and the stars came out one by one, did Zeno wonder about the nature of the cosmos and our place within it? Or was he simply filled with a sense of awe at the beauty above him? Whatever his thoughts, they were the prelude to a lifetime dedicated to understanding the universe and our role in it. In the coming chapters, we will explore how Zeno's ideas transformed not just his own life, but also the lives of countless others across centuries and continents. We will investigate the core beliefs of Stoicism, learn from historical figures who embrace this philosophy, and perhaps even find some practical wisdom to apply in our own lives today. One more thing before we begin. I'm also a co-founder of a sleep app built to be the most affordable one out there. No ads, ever. Just sounds and stories made to help you sleep. It may not be released yet as this video goes up, but if you're watching a little later, it might be out by now. Just search for it, it should be easy to find. It works on iPhone, Android, and everything in between. Downloading it is the best way to support this channel. The year is 35 BCE, and a young philosopher named Zeno stands on the shore of Phoenicia, preparing to embark on a journey that will change Western philosophy forever. Guided by a mysterious oracle's prophecy, Zeno sets sail for Athens, the intellectual heart of the ancient world. His destination? A humble yet iconic structure known as the Stoa Poikile. Upon arriving in Athens, Zeno makes his way to the Agora, the city's bustling marketplace and hub of public life. Nestled among the hustle and bustle is a structure that would become synonymous with his philosophical teachings, the Stoa Poikile. As Zeno takes his first steps beneath the painted roof of the Stoa Poikile, he begins to lay the foundations of a school that would profoundly influence Western thought. His teachings focus on living in accordance with virtue and accepting one's fate with dignity. The Stoa Poikile, with its depictions of heroic battles, serves as a constant reminder to Zeno's followers of the importance of courage and resilience in the face of adversity, themes that would become central tenets of Stoicism. Here, under this modest but meaningful structure, Zeno and his disciples gather to discuss and debate the principles of a philosophy that would endure for centuries. They explore the nature of virtue, the importance of living in harmony with nature, and the power of reason over emotion. As the years pass, Zeno's teachings spread beyond the confines of the Stoa Poikile, capturing the imagination and minds of countless thinkers who would continue to develop and expand upon his ideas. The legacy of Zeno's philosophy, born beneath the painted roof of a simple porch in Athens, lives on as one of the most enduring and influential schools of thought in human history. Under the painted roof of the simple porch in Athens, a unique environment took shape. At the heart of this porch was a series of murals created by the renowned painter Polygnotus. His depictions of the battles of Marathon, Oinoe, and Salamis brought ancient Greek history to life. These were not mere illustrations, they were visual narratives that immersed the viewer in historical moments. Imagine standing under this painted roof, surrounded by these vivid scenes of valor and triumph. Here, under the artistic gaze of Polygnotus, Zeno began to weave his philosophy. The Stoa Poikile was more than just a place. It became a crucible where ideas were forged and wisdom shared. From this humble porch in Athens, the teachings of Zeno would resonate through centuries, influencing Western thought. Zeno's philosophy was simple yet profound, live according to virtue. This message resonated deeply with those who sought inner peace and tranquility in a chaotic world. Among his earliest followers were individuals hungry for a way to navigate the complexities of life with wisdom and resilience. These disciples became known as Stoics, carrying forward Zeno's teachings with fervor. The original Stoic school quickly gained traction, attracting students who were captivated by Zeno's logical approach to ethics, physics, and personal development. Zeno emphasized the importance of virtue in achieving eudaimonia, a state of flourishing or happiness that came from living a life aligned with one's highest values. His disciples found this concept revolutionary. It offered them a path to inner strength and serenity amidst the ever-changing world around them. The book of Zeno's teaching still retains its original binding, a testament to the enduring relevance of his ideas. Zeno emphasized ethical living and personal excellence, teaching that one must cultivate wisdom and virtue to achieve a state of emotional resilience. Central to his teachings was the belief in logos, which refers to living in accordance with universal reason or logic. One of the core tenets of Stoicism is to live according to nature, a principle Zeno believed would lead individuals to a life of balance and harmony. Zeno's teachings aimed to help people cultivate wisdom and virtue, with an emphasis on emotional resilience and inner tranquility. His philosophy also stressed the importance of living in accordance with logic or universal reason, guiding one's actions and decisions. Following Zeno's philosophy meant striving for personal excellence and inner strength, even in the face of a constantly changing world. As we delve deeper into Zeno's teachings, it becomes clear how his ideas shaped Western philosophy over centuries and continue to influence modern thought. But what is the legacy of Zeno's philosophy? How has it shaped Western thought over centuries? The answer lies in its persistent relevance. Stoicism's teachings on virtue and emotional resilience are just as applicable today as they were in ancient Athens. Consider the modern-day interest in Stoicism. Philosophers and psychologists alike study its principles, applying them to issues ranging from personal development to mental health. This resurgence of interest shows that Zeno's ideas have not only stood the test of time, but continue to evolve and adapt to new contexts. And this is just one aspect of Zeno's enduring legacy. His philosophy has influenced a wide range of thinkers and disciplines, from the ancient Greeks to contemporary philosophers. It serves as a reminder that ideas, when founded on timeless principles, can transcend the ages. Think of it this way: Zeno's teachings are like those ancient paintings adorning the Stoa Poikile. They have withstood the test of time, and their beauty continues to captivate us long after they were first created. As we gaze upon these timeless ideas, we can't help but feel a sense of wonder and connection to the past. And that, perhaps more than anything else, is Zeno's true legacy, a philosophy that transcends time and continues to resonate in our hearts and minds. But how did Stoicism manage to endure for so long? The answer lies not only in its timeless principles, but also in the way it was passed down through generations of philosophers and thinkers. From Zeno to Cleanthes and then Chrysippus, each philosopher added their own insights, refining the core ideas without losing their essence. This continuity has kept Stoicism vibrant and relevant over centuries. Moreover, Stoicism's emphasis on emotional resilience and inner tranquility has made it appealing across diverse cultures and eras. It offers practical tools for navigating life's challenges, making it an enduring philosophy. The legacy of Zeno is not just a historical footnote, it's a living, breathing philosophy that continues to inspire and guide us today. As we close this chapter, let's reflect on the enduring impact of Zeno's philosophy and how it has shaped Western thought over centuries. Stoicism continues to resonate in contemporary philosophy, a testament to its timeless wisdom and relevance. Imagine for a moment the bustling heart of ancient Athens, where philosophy was born and nurtured under the shade of grand Stoas. This significant structure stood as a testament to the vibrant cultural life of Athens, adorned with celebrated paintings depicting historical battles. The Hellenistic period, post-Alexander the Great, saw a flourishing of Greek culture and philosophy. Within this context, Zeno's ideas on ethics and virtue held profound significance, shaping Western thought for centuries to come. The preservation of such historical sites is not merely about bricks and mortar, it's about preserving the ideas and philosophies that shaped our world. Zeno's teachings on virtue and inner tranquility continue to resonate in contemporary philosophy, a testament to their timeless relevance. Though the Stoa Poikile itself may be lost in history, its legacy lives on through the enduring wisdom of Stoicism. As we ponder the mysteries of our past, we are reminded of the power of philosophy to shape not just buildings, but minds and hearts. Despite the centuries that have passed, Zeno's teachings continue to resonate with modern thinkers. Today, Stoicism is experiencing a rediscovery as scholars and enthusiasts delve into the ancient philosophy to uncover its enduring relevance. Scholars are poring over ancient texts to decipher Zeno's original teachings and understand how they were interpreted in his time. Academic conferences are being held to discuss the nuances of Stoic philosophy and its impact on Western thought. Historians are re-evaluating the historical context within which Zeno taught, seeking to grasp the societal pressures and influences that shaped his ideas. In libraries around the world, dusty tomes are being opened once more, revealing insights that had lain dormant for centuries. The legacy of Zeno and the Stoic school continues to inspire contemporary philosophers who seek to integrate these timeless principles into modern life. As we continue to explore the depths of Stoic wisdom, we appreciate the profound influence Zeno's teachings have had on shaping our collective understanding of virtue and resilience. Stoicism emphasizes focusing on what one can control and accepting what one cannot. In a world where stress is pervasive, the teachings of Zeno offer valuable insights into maintaining emotional resilience. Modern applications of Stoicism are numerous. Business leaders often turn to Stoic principles for guidance in decision-making and leadership. The idea of focusing on what is within one's control has particular relevance in a fast-paced business environment. For example, a CEO can focus on strategic planning and execution within their company while accepting that external market conditions are beyond their control. In personal life, Stoicism offers tools for managing stress and anxiety. By practicing mindfulness and focusing on the present moment, individuals can cultivate a sense of calm amidst life's uncertainties. The concept of living according to nature and accepting the natural cycle of life and death resonates deeply in our fast-paced, technology-driven world. As his ideas spread, they found fertile ground among early Roman philosophers eager to adopt and adapt them. One of the most influential of these early Romans was Seneca, a statesman and philosopher who embraced Zeno's teachings with fervor. Seneca wrote extensively on Stoicism, penning works like Letters from a Stoics and On the Shortness of Life, which directly reflected Zeno's foundational principles. Another key figure was Epictetus, a former slave who rose to prominence as a philosopher in his own right. Despite his humble origins, Epictetus's teachings on virtue and inner strength drew from Zeno's original philosophy, emphasizing the importance of personal ethics. Perhaps the most notable Roman Stoic was Marcus Aurelius, who combined his duties as emperor with a deep devotion to Zeno's ideas. His personal journal, Meditations, is a profound exploration of Stoic philosophy and illustrates how Zeno's teachings were applied in the highest echelons of Roman society. These early Roman Stoics not only adopted, but also evolved Zeno's ideas, shaping them to fit the cultural and social context of their time. Their texts, which are still widely read today, showcase how Zeno's foundational work became a cornerstone of Roman thought. Through their writings and philosophies, they ensured that Zeno's legacy lived on, furthering his impact and shaping Western philosophy. Meanwhile, in Rhodes, another prominent figure emerged who carried forward Zeno's ideas. The philosopher Panaretius expanded Stoic thought to include practical advice on daily living and interpersonal relationships. As the Hellenistic period progressed, Stoicism did not remain confined within the borders of Greece. In Pergamon, an intellectual hub known for its rich cultural life, Zeno's teachings were embraced and further developed. Stoic ideas found their way into the hands of prominent Roman thinkers as well. Cicero, a renowned Roman philosopher, drew heavily from Stoic teachings, helping to spread these concepts across the Mediterranean world. The dissemination of Zeno's ideas was not just geographical, but also temporal, enduring long after his death. His teachings continued to evolve and be refined by various philosophers over centuries. He taught that living according to nature involved understanding the logos, or universal reason, and aligning one's actions with it. This concept of logos served as a guidepost for Stoics to make ethical decisions. He emphasized that humans should accept their place in the natural order and submit to the will of the gods. Chrysippus further developed these principles, focusing on the importance of self-control and duty. He believed that one should strive to perform their duties diligently, regardless of circumstances. In essence, Stoic ethics was about embracing the uncontrollable and focusing on what one could control, one's own actions and attitudes. The influence of Zeno's ethical teachings is evident in the works of later Stoic philosophers such as Seneca, Epictetus, and Marcus Aurelius. These philosophers further refined and applied Stoic ethics in their writings and lives, extending its relevance into the Roman era. The enduring impact of these ideas is not confined to history. They continue to influence contemporary moral debates and philosophies today. Zeno's ethical philosophy offers a framework for navigating modern challenges with virtue, duty, and acceptance at its core. In these eras, philosophers rediscovered the wisdom of Stoic thought and applied it to their own works. This renewed interest helped shape contemporary thinking and laid the groundwork for modern philosophical movements. Modern philosophy has drawn significantly from Stoic principles, with notable figures like Friedrich Nietzsche acknowledging the impact of Stoicism on their ideas. In psychology, cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT, is heavily influenced by Stoic techniques, particularly the concept of accepting what one cannot control and focusing on what one can. Prominent psychologists such as Albert Ellis and Aaron Beck have integrated these Stoic principles into their therapeutic approaches, emphasizing the importance of emotional resilience and rational thought. These modern applications of Stoicism demonstrate its enduring relevance in addressing contemporary challenges. This timelessness underscores the profound impact and relevance of Zeno's philosophy in both philosophical and psychological arenas today. His early intellectual development was deeply influenced by several prominent philosophers whose ideas on virtue, logic, and asceticism laid the foundation for his own philosophical teachings. Among these early influences was Socrates, who taught that wisdom comes from recognizing the limitations of one's knowledge. This concept, known as intellectual humility, is at the core of Zeno's philosophy. Plato, another significant influence, emphasized the importance of logical reasoning in understanding the nature of reality. Zeno adopted this focus on logic and applied it to personal conduct, believing that living according to reason was key to a virtuous life. Diogenes of Sinope, known for his ascetic lifestyle, also had a profound impact on Zeno's thinking. Diogenes believed in the simplicity and purity of a life without material possessions, an idea that resonated deeply with Zeno and became a cornerstone of Stoic philosophy. These early influences set the stage for Zeno's philosophical journey. In ancient Athens, the word logos held a profound significance within Greek philosophy. It represented the underlying order and reason that governed the universe. For Stoics like Zeno, the founding of the Stoic school wasn't a grand event in some grand hall or theatre. These artworks were not just decorative, they were a part of the cultural fabric of Athens. The Stoa was more than just a place, it was a symbol of Athenian culture and history. For Zeno, who was a Cypriot by birth, the Stoa Poikile offered both a shelter from the sun and a symbolic connection to Athenian wisdom. It was under this humble porch that Zeno began teaching his philosophy of living according to virtue. This simple space became the birthplace of Stoicism, a philosophical movement that would shape Western thought for centuries. The humble Stoa Poikile is where the seeds of Stoic philosophy were first planted and began to grow. From this unassuming spot, Zeno's teachings would spread far and wide, influencing philosophers from Cleanthes to Marcus Aurelius. Cleanthes, a prominent figure in his own right, would go on to lead the Stoic school after Zeno's death. Persius, known for his contributions to the ethics of Stoicism, would later lead the school as well. The teachings of these students would take Stoicism beyond its initial confines, shaping it into a philosophy that would endure for centuries. As the centuries passed, Stoicism would continue to evolve and influence, a testament to Zeno's initial teachings and the dedicated work of his students. Zeno believed that the natural world embodied a rational order, and humans should align their lives with this universal logic. One of Zeno's most influential innovations was the dichotomy of control, the distinction between what is within our power and what is not. These philosophical innovations laid the foundation for a school of thought that would shape Western philosophy over centuries. The originality of Zeno's teachings and their profound impact on Western philosophy continue to resonate today. The city buzzed with ideas and philosophical discourse, a cultural backdrop that deeply influenced Zeno's views on citizenship and virtue. Zeno observed the political tensions of Athenian democracy and the constant quest for harmony among its citizens. Investigating the influence of Athens' cultural values, one finds that Zeno's philosophy was shaped by a desire to instill ethical conduct in citizens. As Zeno taught under the Stoa Poikile, his ideas began to resonate with many who sought a way to navigate the complexities of Athenian life. Understanding this journey deepens our appreciation for the context in which Stoicism was born and the profound impact it has had on Western thought. Zeno of Citium, the founder of Stoicism, had a profound impact on Western philosophy through his innovative teaching methods. These dialogues were not merely conversations, but carefully crafted explorations designed to challenge and enlighten his listeners. Zeno's use of Socratic dialogues allowed him to explore complex philosophical concepts in a dynamic and engaging way, drawing participants into the conversation. By posing thought-provoking questions and encouraging active discussion, Zeno could uncover the assumptions and beliefs of his audience, guiding them toward deeper insights. One key theme in Zeno's dialogues was cosmopolitanism, the idea that all humans are citizens of the cosmos, rather than individual cities or nations. This concept highlighted the interconnectedness of all things and encouraged a sense of global responsibility among his followers. In addition to public dialogues, Zeno also wrote extensively, further spreading his ideas to a broader audience beyond Athens. His written works served as both a record of his teachings and a means for others to study Stoic philosophy in depth. Through these varied methods, public dialogues, lectures, and written works, Zeno effectively communicated the core tenets of Stoicism. His innovative approach ensured that Stoic philosophy would continue to be studied, debated, and practiced for centuries to come. Under this storied portico, Zeno laid the groundwork for what would become known as dialectical logic, a cornerstone of Stoicism. This form of logical reasoning was not simply a theoretical exercise, but a practical tool used to refute rival philosophies and affirm the principles of Stoic thought. One of Zeno's key innovations was the identification of what he called the 5 indemonstrables. These were logical paradoxes that could not be disproven by traditional means, yet they challenged the very foundations of many contemporary philosophies. By employing these indemonstrables, Zeno could dismantle the arguments of his opponents, revealing the inherent flaws in their logical structures. At the heart of Zeno's logical framework lay the concept of logos, which he believed to be the universal reason governing all things. Logos served as both the guiding principle and the standard by which Zeno evaluated the truthfulness of philosophical claims. Through his rigorous application of logical thought, Zeno not only shaped Stoicism, but also laid the groundwork for Western philosophy's evolution towards more robust and sophisticated reasoning. Zeno encountered and engaged with some of the greatest philosophical minds of his time. Among them were Socrates, Plato, and Aristotle, each contributing to the intellectual ferment that shaped Zeno's own thinking. Plato, who founded the Academy in Athens, often shared his views on the ideal society and the nature of reality. His dialogues were influential and sparked lively discussions among philosophers, including Zeno. Aristotle, a student of Plato, brought his own perspectives on logic, ethics, and natural philosophy to the debates. His emphasis on empirical observation and logical reasoning was a significant counterpoint to Zeno's more abstract ideas. Through these exchanges, Zeno refined his ideas on how to live in accordance with nature and the importance of personal ethics. His school became a hub for those seeking a practical philosophy that could guide daily life. The intellectual atmosphere under the Stoa Poikile was electric, with each philosopher contributing to and challenging the other's ideas. It was within this crucible of thought that Zeno forged his unique philosophy, which would come to influence Western thinking for centuries to come. Illuminated by the torchlight of these philosophical giants, Zeno's ideas began to take shape. His focus on personal virtue and living in harmony with nature was a direct response to the questions posed and explored within this intellectual community. Zeno's philosophy, born of these debates, laid the groundwork for a school that would continue to evolve and influence Western thought long after his death. His ideas were not formed in isolation, but through vigorous engagement with the brightest minds of his time. One of Zeno's first challenges was the political instability that permeated Athens during this time. Maintaining a public space like the Stoa Poikile required resources that Zeno and his followers had to secure amidst their philosophical pursuits. Beyond political turmoil and financial obstacles, Zeno faced resistance from other schools of thought that were already well established in Athens. Schools like the Academy, founded by Plato, and the Lyceum, headed by Aristotle, had their own dedicated followers and philosophies that differed significantly from Zeno's teachings. Despite these challenges, Zeno's determination to establish his school was unwavering. He saw the value in his philosophy and knew it had the potential to shape Western thought for centuries to come. In Athens during the Hellenistic age, new philosophical schools were emerging alongside Zeno's Stoic school. Epicureanism, founded by Epicurus around the same time, shared Zeno's emphasis on personal ethics, but differed in its focus on pleasure and avoiding pain. Skepticism, led by philosophers like Pyrrho, questioned the very nature of knowledge and reality, contrasting with Zeno's reliance on logic. Zeno's influence was evident in these schools as they grappled with similar questions about the good life and the nature of reality. Despite their differences, the echoes of Zeno's teachings could be heard in the debates and dialogues of these philosophical communities. Even as these schools evolved, the core principles Zeno laid down served as a touchstone for subsequent philosophical inquiries. The Hellenistic age was a time of great intellectual ferment, and Zeno's philosophy stood at the forefront, shaping the discourse. His ideas did not just exist in a vacuum, they were part of a living conversation that continued to evolve and grow. The immediate spread and significance of early Stoic ideas highlighted their enduring influence on Western thought. Another key concept that Zeno introduced was pneuma, the breath or spirit that animates all life. This vital force was seen as the manifestation of logos in living beings. Unlike some contemporaries who believed in arbitrary fate or divine whims, Zeno's metaphysics embraced a form of determinism rooted in the idea of fate. In this view, individual actions were part of an intricate and unavoidable tapestry woven by fate. While it might seem restrictive, understanding the workings of fate offered a path to inner tranquility. These early formulations set the stage for subsequent Stoic philosophers, who would refine and expand upon Zeno's ideas. As the centuries passed, the Stoic school continued to evolve under figures like Cleanthes and Chrysippus, each adding layers of complexity to Zeno's initial framework. However, the core tenets, logos, pneuma, and fate, remained at the heart of Stoic thought, guiding philosophers' quest for wisdom and virtue. This journey from Zeno's original ideas to the fully developed Stoic metaphysics underscores the enduring influence of his teachings on Western thought. As we delve deeper into the evolution of Stoic metaphysics, it becomes clear that Zeno's foundational work laid the groundwork for a philosophical tradition that continues to resonate today. Perhaps most importantly, Zeno's ideas offered a pathway to understanding and accepting one's place in the vast, interconnected web of logos. Zeno's philosophy did not fade away with his lifetime. It rippled through the centuries, shaping the minds of some of Rome's most influential thinkers and leaders. Stoicism's journey into Roman thought began with Cicero, a philosopher who embraced Zeno's teachings on living according to virtue. Cicero saw in Stoicism a path to inner tranquility amid the turmoil of Roman politics. Seneca, the renowned philosopher and playwright, delved deeply into Zeno's works, finding solace in Stoic principles such as accepting fate with resilience. His letters to Lucilius, a young, aspiring Stoic, are filled with the wisdom of Zeno's philosophy, guiding his pupil through the complexities of life. Marcus Aurelius, Emperor of Rome, carried the torch of Stoicism further into the imperial realm. Through their works, Cicero, Seneca, and Marcus Aurelius reflected and expanded upon Zeno's original ideas, ensuring his legacy lived on in the hearts of Rome's intellectual elite. This is not just the story of one philosopher, it's a testament to how enduring ideas can shape entire cultures over centuries. As Zeno's teachings echoed through the halls of Rome, they continued to offer guidance and wisdom, shaping the minds of those who sought to understand their place in the vast, interconnected web of logos. In the hands of Cicero, Seneca, and Marcus Aurelius, Zeno's philosophy proved that true wisdom can withstand the test of time and geography. In Sparta, known for its rigorous discipline and military prowess, Zeno's teachings on the importance of inner tranquility and emotional resilience held special appeal. His lectures in Megara also drew significant attention, influencing local politicians to consider the role of virtue in governance. Zeno's philosophy began to take root across different polis. In cities like Athens and Corinth, where intellectual debates were already robust, Zeno's ideas offered a fresh perspective on ethics and personal conduct. Zeno's engagement with these various city-states demonstrated the widespread impact of his philosophy across Greece, laying a foundation for Stoicism that would endure long after his death. Although Zeno of Citium is known as the founder of Stoicism, surprisingly little of his actual writings have survived through the centuries. The ancient Greek philosopher left behind a legacy that shaped Western philosophy, yet many of his foundational texts are now lost to history. Among his known works is a text titled Republic, which delved into themes of ethics and political philosophy. Another notable work is the Exhortations, a collection of moral essays that emphasized personal virtue and inner tranquility. Beyond these, Zeno's lost dialogues have been referenced by other philosophers but remain fragments in the historical record. These lost works are believed to have explored deep themes of logic and ethics, further developing the foundational ideas of Stoicism. Despite their absence, the influence of Zeno's writings can be seen in the subsequent generations of Stoic philosophers. His successors, such as Cleanthes and Chrysippus, built upon these foundational texts to further develop the school's philosophy. His teachings on Stoicism continue to resonate today, reminding us of the enduring quest for wisdom and virtue in a changing world. Central to Zeno's philosophy was the concept of oikeiosis, which emphasized that humans are naturally inclined towards sociability and mutual affection. This principle posited that as one grows from caring for family and friends to extending that care to the broader community, eventually reaching out to the entire world. Zeno believed in a universal law, logos, that governs all of nature and humanity. This law was seen as the fundamental principle that binds the cosmos together. According to Zeno, adhering to this universal law would naturally lead to a unified world society where all individuals live in harmony with each other and the natural order. These ideas laid the groundwork for later philosophers who continued to develop and refine Zeno's vision of a global community governed by universal principles. The Stoic school, after Zeno's death, was led by philosophers like Cleanthes and Chrysippus, who further explored the implications of Zeno's teachings. Through their works, the idea of a unified world society based on shared virtues and universal laws began to take shape more concretely within Western philosophy. The vision of a global community living under one cosmic law was not just an abstract ideal, but a practical guide for how individuals should conduct themselves in daily life. This perspective prefigured later concepts of global unity and community, providing a foundation that philosophers would build upon for centuries to come. As we look back at Zeno's teachings, we see the seeds of a profound vision that has shaped our understanding of the interconnectedness of humanity and the natural world. Before Zeno, there were other influential philosophers who laid the groundwork for his teachings. He argued that life is like a river. You cannot step into the same river twice because both you and the river have changed. He believed that numbers hold the key to understanding the universe, a concept Zeno would later expand upon. These pre-Socratic philosophers provided early influences for Zeno's teachings, emphasizing change and logic in nature. Zeno took these ideas further by incorporating virtue and personal ethics into his philosophy. As we trace the journey of Zeno's teachings, we see how his early influences helped shape a profound vision that has endured through centuries. This understanding sets the stage for exploring how Stoicism developed and influenced Western thought over time. During the 4th century BCE, Athens had become a thriving hub of intellectual activity and philosophical inquiry. The city's political climate was marked by the rise of Macedonian power under Philip II and later his son Alexander the Great. This period also saw significant cultural shifts as Athens transitioned from a city-state to a more unified Hellenistic culture. His teachings on living, according to virtue and logic, resonated deeply with many Athenians who sought inner tranquility amidst the political turmoil. The Stoic school continued to flourish under Zeno's successors, such as Cleanthes and Chrysippus, shaping philosophical thought for centuries to come. This real-world application of Stoicism demonstrates its enduring relevance in helping individuals navigate the complexities and uncertainties of life. Among the philosophical schools that Zeno interacted with were the Cynics, who advocated for a simple life without possessions. These interactions refined Zeno's ideas and contributed to the evolution of Stoic principles. The Epicureans, another philosophical group, believed in seeking pleasure and avoiding pain. Zeno's debates with them sharpened his emphasis on virtue and inner tranquility. Engagements with the academics, who were skeptical about the possibility of knowledge, further solidified Zeno's commitment to logic and reason in personal conduct. These philosophical debates and interactions allowed Stoicism to evolve and strengthen its core principles, making it one of the most enduring schools of thought in Western philosophy. Stoicism's influence extended beyond Zeno's lifetime, continuing to shape philosophical thought for centuries. It provided a framework for personal ethics and emotional resilience that remains relevant today. Zeno's philosophy, though refined through debates and interactions with other schools, retained its original essence of living virtuously and in accordance with reason. This legacy continues to inspire modern philosophical thought and personal conduct. Perhaps most importantly, Zeno's teachings remind us of the enduring relevance of personal ethics and emotional resilience in navigating life's challenges. The spread of Zeno's teachings beyond Athens was not merely a philosophical dissemination, it was a quiet revolution that would shape Western thought for centuries to come. One of the most notable figures influenced by Zeno was Chrysippus, who took over from Cleanthes and further developed Stoic philosophy. Through his own teachings and writings, Chrysippus expanded the reach of Stoicism even more. The personal connections and correspondences between philosophers of this era were crucial in spreading ideas. Letters between Zeno's followers and their students in other cities helped to disseminate Stoic thought across the Hellenistic world. This network of philosophers ensured that Zeno's teachings on living according to virtue and achieving inner peace were not confined to a single city, but resonated throughout the known world. Zeno's ideas did not remain confined to the Painted Porch where he first taught them. They spread and influenced Greek literature, shaping the works of notable authors such as Aristotle and Epicurus. Their writings reflected many Stoic principles, illustrating the broad impact of Zeno's philosophy beyond just philosophical circles. Epicurus, on the other hand, focused on achieving inner peace through understanding what one can control and accepting what one cannot. His teachings on tranquility and emotional resilience resonate with Stoic ideals. It is fascinating to see how these ideas, first discussed under a portico adorned with historical paintings, found their way into the literary canon and continue to be studied today. The Stoic principles of living according to virtue and achieving inner peace have stood the test of time, influencing not just philosophers, but also authors whose works continue to be read and analysed. This broad impact underscores the significance of Zeno's original school and its enduring legacy in shaping Western thought and literature. By tracing the influence of Stoic principles in Greek literature, we see that Zeno's teachings were not merely philosophical tenets, but also cultural touchstones that continue to echo through time. The contrast between Zeno's Stoicism and Epicurean hedonism sparked some of the most notable intellectual debates of the time. In one such debate, Zeno argued that true happiness could not be found through the pursuit of pleasure alone. He posited that while pleasure might bring momentary satisfaction, it was fleeting and often led to further desires and discontent. In response, the Epicureans contended that the avoidance of pain was as important as the pursuit of pleasure. They saw no contradiction between seeking pleasure and avoiding suffering. Zeno acknowledged this point but maintained that true wisdom came from cultivating one's character and resilience, not merely from the management of sensations. He argued that by focusing on virtue, one could achieve a state of eudaimonia, a profound sense of well-being and flourishing that was not dependent on external circumstances. Through these debates, Zeno honed his philosophical ideas, refining his teachings to address the challenges posed by other schools of thought. The Stoa was famous for its vivid paintings of historical battles, which provided a striking backdrop to Zeno's teachings on natural phenomena and the interconnectedness of all things. Zeno believed that the universe was governed by a rational principle, or logos, which permeated every aspect of existence. This principle brought order and harmony to the natural world. He saw the cosmos as a vast, interconnected web where everything was intertwined and nothing existed in isolation. To Zeno, even the smallest events were part of a grand, rational design. This belief in the interconnectedness of all things extended to his view of human nature. He taught that each individual was a microcosm of the universe, reflecting the same rational principles that govern the cosmos. By focusing on personal ethics, one could better grasp and live in accordance with nature's grand design. This alignment brought a sense of inner tranquility and peace. The Stoa Poikile may no longer stand, but Zeno's teachings have left an enduring imprint on Western philosophy. His beliefs about the rational universe and the interconnectedness of all things continue to shape our understanding of nature and ourselves. This growing community shared Zeno's belief that one should live in accordance with nature and virtue, cultivating wisdom and emotional resilience. Zeno fostered this sense of community by emphasizing the importance of fellowship and mutual support in their philosophical pursuits. The sense of community was so profound that Zeno's teachings continued to shape Western philosophy long after his death, with followers like Cleanthes and Chrysippus carrying on the legacy. Even as the original Stoa Poikile has faded into history, the ideas forged there continue to influence philosophical thought today. Despite the influence of Zeno's ideas, his journey was not without challenges. In ancient Athens, philosophical debates were as fiery as the city's politics. One of the most formidable adversaries was Diogenes of Sinope, a cynic philosopher known for his provocative behavior and harsh criticism of societal norms. Diogenes often publicly mocked Zeno's teachings, arguing that they were too abstract and divorced from the realities of everyday life. But despite these challenges, Zeno's ideas began to take root among a devoted group of followers who saw in Stoicism a path to inner peace and virtue. The resilience of Zeno's philosophy can be seen in the enduring influence it has had on Western thought, long after his teachings under the Stoa Poikile have faded into history. Among the earliest and most notable figures influenced by Stoicism was Antigonus II Gonatas, king of Macedon from 277 to 239 BCE. Antigonus embraced the Stoic ideals of self-control and ethical behavior, applying them to his role as a ruler. He advocated for justice and fairness in governance, reflecting the Stoic emphasis on living virtuously. Another prominent politician who found inspiration in Zeno's teachings was Cleomenes III of Sparta, who reigned from 236 to 222 BCE. Cleomenes sought to reform Spartan society along Stoic lines, aiming to instill disciplined and virtuous living among his subjects. His efforts included redistributing wealth and land more equitably, echoing the Stoic principle of community and shared prosperity. The influence of Stoicism on political thought continued into the Roman era, with prominent figures like Cato the Younger adopting Stoic principles. Cato was known for his unwavering commitment to duty and virtue, qualities that resonated deeply with Stoic teachings. His steadfast adherence to these values, even in the face of adversity, made him a notable example of Stoic-inspired leadership. Perhaps most notably, the Roman Emperor Marcus Aurelius was a devoted follower of Stoicism. His personal writings and meditations reflect a deep understanding and application of Zeno's teachings to political governance. Aurelius emphasized the importance of ruling with wisdom, justice, and virtue, principles that echoed throughout his reign. The impact of Zeno's philosophy extended beyond individual leaders to shape broader political movements. Stoicism influenced the development of Roman law, which sought to uphold principles of justice and fairness consistent with Stoic ethics. The influence of Zeno's thought can be traced through legal codes and philosophical debates that have shaped Western political systems for centuries. Following Zeno's death, the Stoic school continued under the guidance of prominent philosophers like Cleanthes and Chrysippus. They built upon Zeno's ethical foundations, further refining the principles of Stoicism. Cleanthes and Chrysippus expanded on Zeno's ideas about virtue and living according to nature, introducing new ethical concepts that broadened the scope of Stoic philosophy. As Stoicism evolved, it came to encompass a wide range of philosophical disciplines, including logic and ethics. This comprehensive approach ensured that the school's influence would endure for generations. The ethical framework developed by Zeno and his successors laid the groundwork for Western philosophical thought. Ideas about justice, fairness, and personal virtue were central to this legacy. Throughout history, the ethical principles introduced by Zeno have been reflected in legal codes and philosophical debates that continue to shape Western political systems today. The Stoic school's emphasis on ethics has also had a profound impact on contemporary ideas about personal growth and well-being. Zeno's teachings continue to resonate in modern discussions of virtuous living. Looking back at the founding of Stoicism under Zeno's guidance, it is clear that ethics was always at the heart of this philosophical tradition. This focus on moral living has left an indelible mark on Western thought. As we consider the evolution of Stoic thought, it is important to remember the foundational role that ethics played in its development and enduring influence on Western philosophy. The journey from Zeno's founding of the Stoic school to its profound impact on Western thought is a testament to the power of ethical inquiry and personal virtue. Zeno's intellectual journey was not a solitary one. He engaged in vibrant dialogues with other philosophical schools of his time, including the Epicureans. The Epicureans believed in a universe filled with atoms moving randomly through space, creating worlds and beings by chance combinations. He also engaged in heated discussions with the Platonists, who saw the material world as a mere shadow of the ideal forms that exist in another realm. Zeno argued that this dualistic view neglected the reality and value of our physical existence. His encounters with Aristotelians were equally intense, as they debated the nature of reality and the role of logic in shaping human conduct. These debates led to a deeper understanding of the principles of Stoicism and how they could be applied in everyday life. For example, the debate with the Epicureans led Zeno to emphasize the importance of inner tranquility and emotional resilience in his teachings. And the discussions with Aristotelians highlighted the Stoic emphasis on logic and ethics in personal conduct. These debates were not just academic exercises, they shaped Zeno's philosophy into a practical guide for living a virtuous life in an ever-changing world. Through his dialogues with other philosophical schools, Zeno's ideas evolved and were refined, laying the foundation for a philosophy that would continue to influence Western thought for centuries. Zeno's belief in virtue as the only good marked a significant shift from prevailing philosophies of his time. Unlike the Epicureans, who saw pleasure in tranquility, Zeno viewed virtue as the sole means to achieve eudaimonia, flourishing or happiness. And unlike Aristotle, who saw virtue as a means to balance various human goods and desires, Zeno maintained that virtue was the only true good. In his view, living virtuously was not merely one aspect of a flourishing life, it was the entirety of it. For Zeno, virtue was not an end in itself, but rather the fundamental principle that governs all aspects of life. This radical perspective would come to define Stoic moral philosophy for centuries to come. This belief in virtue as the ultimate good laid the foundation for a philosophy that would continue to influence Western thought long after Zeno's death. By emphasizing that living virtuously was not merely one aspect of the flourishing life, but the entirety of it, Zeno set Stoicism on a course that has endured through the ages. In the end, it was Zeno's unwavering commitment to virtue that shaped Stoic moral philosophy and left an indelible mark on Western thought. Through his teachings under the Painted Porch, he paved the way for a philosophy that continues to inspire and guide us today. Zeno's Stoic moral philosophy quickly found its way beyond the confines of Athens, carried by his dedicated students who took the teachings to other cities across Greece and beyond. In Alexandria, a thriving city under Ptolemaic rule, Zeno's disciples began to share the principles of Stoicism with local philosophers and scholars. The emphasis on personal virtue and living according to nature resonated deeply in this intellectual hub. Thebes, known for its vibrant cultural life, also welcomed Zeno's teachings. Stoic thought began to influence the local philosophical community, encouraging individuals to cultivate inner tranquility and focus on what they could control. Stoicism did not remain confined to these few cities. It spread to other city-states as well, each community adopting the philosophy in ways that resonated with their unique cultural contexts. Amidst this intellectual ferment, Zeno encountered a group of philosophers known as Epicureans, who advocated for the pursuit of pleasure and the avoidance of pain. Their philosophy was deeply at odds with Zeno's emphasis on self-control and inner tranquility. The Epicureans believed that the ultimate goal of life was to maximize pleasure and minimize pain. They saw no virtue in enduring hardships or denying oneself enjoyment. These debates were not merely academic. They touched on fundamental aspects of human existence. Were happiness and fulfillment found in the pursuit of pleasure or in the practice of self-discipline? These controversies shaped the early Stoic thought, deepening Zeno's philosophical convictions. Zeno was known to have said, "Nature does nothing in vain." He believed that everything that happens is part of a larger, divine plan, and that understanding this could bring profound inner peace. As Zeno's philosophy continued to evolve, it became clear that Stoicism was not just about personal ethics, but also about navigating the complexities of life and society. These debates with the Epicureans not only refined Zeno's philosophical thought, but also demonstrated his resilience as a thinker. His ability to engage with opposing views and integrate their insights into his own philosophy laid the foundation for Stoicism's enduring influence. For Zeno, beauty was intrinsically linked to harmony and balance, ideals that permeate both his philosophical teachings and the art he appreciated. The Stoa Poikile's murals, for instance, were not merely decorative, they embodied a vision of order and unity. Zeno believed that art should reflect the natural world and its inherent logic. This philosophy has left an indelible mark on Western aesthetics, influencing artists to seek inspiration from nature's patterns and principles. Contemporary art forms such as tansi, dance, and Nike circus, contemporary circus, often draw upon natural movements and rhythms, echoing Zeno's belief in the harmony of the cosmos. These performances strive for a balance that mirrors his philosophical ideals. Zeno's emphasis on personal ethics and inner tranquility has also shaped the ethos behind many art exhibitions. Night-lit exhibitions often aim to evoke a sense of calm and contemplation, inviting viewers to reflect on their own place within the world. Moreover, Zeno's philosophical ideas about the interconnectedness of all things have inspired Erytidalogen Festivalit, festivals of different art forms. These events celebrate diversity and unity, reflecting Zeno's belief in a universal logic that binds all aspects of life together. In practical terms, the influence of Zeno's philosophy can be seen in Didekasbatis art education. By teaching students to appreciate beauty through the lens of nature and harmony, art educators instill values that align with Zeno's teachings. The continuing relevance of Zeno's ideas demonstrates the enduring influence of Stoicism beyond academic discourse, shaping how we perceive and create art today. As we reflect on Zeno's teachings under the Painted Porch, it becomes clear that his philosophy has transcended time, offering a guiding framework for artists and architects alike. From Tansi to Nike Circus, from Nightalit to Erytidalogen Festivalit, the echoes of Zeno's philosophy are evident. His emphasis on harmony and balance continues to inspire contemporary interpretations of art. In the early Christian era, Stoic principles began to influence prominent thinkers. Early Christians found common ground with Zeno's emphasis on living according to virtue. This shared ethos laid the foundation for much of Christian morality. Moving into the Renaissance, humanists rediscovered and embraced Stoic philosophy. Thinkers like Erasmus and Montaigne drew from Zeno's teachings to advocate for personal ethics and emotional resilience. The Enlightenment period saw a resurgence of interest in Stoicism. Philosophers such as Spinoza and Voltaire looked to Zeno's principles for guidance on living in accordance with nature. Throughout these centuries, the enduring philosophy of Zeno has shaped the intellectual landscape of Western thought. His ideas continue to resonate today, influencing modern interpretations of ethics and personal conduct. In conclusion, Zeno's founding of Stoicism continues to have a profound impact on Western philosophy. His principles of virtue, inner tranquility, and living according to nature have influenced major thinkers across eras, from early Christian leaders to Renaissance humanists and Enlightenment philosophers. His enduring philosophy serves as a testament to the timeless relevance of his ideas, proving that Zeno's influence on Western thought is far from over. Zeno's philosophy did not develop in isolation. It was honed through a series of intense philosophical debates in the vibrant intellectual hub of Athens. Among his most formidable adversaries were the Aristotelians, who maintained that virtue could only be achieved through education and refinement of character. Zeno would often challenge their assumptions, insisting that true virtue was innate rather than learned. These debates sharpened Zeno's focus on personal ethics and the importance of emotional resilience in achieving eudaimonia. He also clashed with Platonists, who believed in a transcendent world of ideas that shaped reality. Zeno argued that true wisdom comes from living in accordance with nature and accepting what cannot be controlled. Perhaps the most heated exchanges were with Epicureans, who championed the pursuit of pleasure as the highest good. Zeno countered that true happiness lies in virtue and inner tranquility, not fleeting pleasures. These philosophical debates were not mere academic exercises, but intense clashes of ideas that shaped Zeno's thought and refined Stoicism's foundational principles. Zeno's philosophy emerged stronger, more coherent, and better equipped to guide those seeking wisdom and virtue in an ever-changing world. And so, through these fiery debates, the philosophy of Stoicism was forged and tempered, setting it on a course to influence Western thought for centuries to come. This library was more than just a repository for texts. It served as a hub where ideas could be exchanged and debated. Within its walls, the earliest Stoic texts were preserved, ensuring that the core principles of Zeno's philosophy would not only endure, but also flourish. The role of the library in preserving these early works cannot be overstated. It allowed Zeno's successors and subsequent philosophers to delve deeply into his teachings, refine their understanding, and contribute their own insights. The library's influence extended far beyond its physical walls. Philosophers like Cleanthes and Chrysippus, who succeeded Zeno as the heads of the Stoic school, drew heavily from the resources within this intellectual sanctuary. The practical steps Zeno took to establish this library underscore his foresight and commitment to ensuring the longevity of Stoic thought. It was more than just a collection of books. It was a living testament to the power of ideas and their ability to shape human understanding over centuries. Through this library, Zeno laid the groundwork for Stoicism to evolve and adapt, ensuring that its teachings would remain relevant and impactful well into the future. It serves as a reminder that even the most profound ideas need a nurturing environment to grow and flourish, and Zeno's establishment of the Stoic library was a critical step in fostering that intellectual growth. In creating this library, Zeno not only preserved his teachings for future generations, but also ensured that the philosophy of Stoicism would continue to shape Western thought for centuries to come. The historical context of Greek skepticism is crucial to understanding Zeno's philosophical journey. Figures like Pyrrho and Anaximenes were central to these debates. Pyrrho, often considered the founder of skepticism, famously argued that nothing can be known with certainty, not even the most basic sensory experiences. Anaximenes expanded on these ideas, positing that all perceptions and beliefs are relative and dependent on individual perspectives. To the skeptics, the pursuit of absolute truth was an illusory quest. Zeno, however, was not dissuaded by their radical claims. Instead, he saw an opportunity to refine his own philosophical teachings. He engaged in heated debates with the skeptics, questioning their rejection of all certainty. In these exchanges, Zeno began to develop his own epistemology, a theory of knowledge that acknowledges the limitations of human perception but also seeks a practical and ethical approach to certainty. This approach allowed him to address the skeptics' concerns without succumbing to their relativism. By focusing on the practical implications of his philosophy rather than metaphysical absolutes, Zeno's teachings became both resilient and adaptable to varying perspectives. The disputes with the skeptics not only shaped Zeno's epistemology, but also propelled Stoicism towards a more nuanced and robust understanding of knowledge. It was through these intellectual clashes that the foundational principles of Stoic thought began to take form. In this way, Zeno's engagement with skeptic philosophy in Athens played a pivotal role in shaping Western philosophy for centuries to come. His ability to navigate the complexities of knowledge and doubt laid the groundwork for a philosophical tradition that continues to resonate today. Zeno's philosophical debates were legendary, shaping the core of Stoicism and guiding its influence over centuries. It was in Athens where Zeno first engaged with the Epicureans. Epicurus argued for a life of simple pleasures and minimal desires, believing that true happiness comes from avoiding pain and fear. Zeno, however, saw the pitfalls in this approach. How could one truly find tranquility by fleeing from life's inevitable challenges? He proposed that true contentment lies in accepting and living harmoniously with nature, including its hardships. Meanwhile, Zeno's exchanges with the skeptics were no less intense. The skeptics challenged any claim to certain knowledge, arguing that everything is uncertain and unknowable. Zeno countered by emphasizing the importance of living according to what is within our control, focusing on virtue rather than absolute truths. These debates did not merely define Zeno's philosophy, they shaped the founding principles of Stoicism itself. Thus, the journey of Zeno's philosophical debates not only shaped Stoicism, but also left an indelible mark on Western philosophy. From under that portico in Athens, a philosophical movement was born that would guide generations in their pursuit of virtue and tranquility.